Hi everyone, this is Rob from lifehackanddiy.com. I wanted to go over some of the details of the bike storage rack which I built, which is right here. So the first thing to mention is the initial bike frame. So the initial bike frame is just this 2x4 which goes up to the height you want the hooks to be for the bikes or scooters to be held. Then there's another 2x4 that goes across, and there's another 2x4 that goes down. But one thing to note is that with the frame, to keep the frame in place, and so it doesn't wobble, because before it would go this way and that way because it wasn't secure enough with just the screws here. I got these angle brackets to hold it in place, and actually there's two. One here, one here. Same thing on the other side. And the angle brackets really keep it sturdy so it doesn't sway. And then here's the crossboard and there's the board down. So next item to discuss would be the feet on the bike rack. So what I did is there's one 2x4 here which connects to the leg of the initial frame. And I bolted that in. But when I did that, the board still would shift this way and that way too much. So to keep it in place, I added another board here, which ends right here to keep this in place, and another board on the other side to keep it in place. So if I zoom in, you can see how it works. There's a board all the way across, and then a board here and a board here, which keep this in place. And then to keep the whole leg in place and not move much, I just put down this 50-pound bag of rocks, which you can get for $5 at any hardware store. Or you could use your own weights or do something else. But that's basically how the feet of the bike rack work. So now that we've put in the bike frame here, we've put in the feet, the next thing that you would do is you put in the hooks for the bikes to hang on. You can see all the hooks here. And the hooks is pretty easy. You can see a zoom in of this hook. Basically, these are really cheap, and all you do is you just need to screw it in. It can get kind of hard. You need to use a decent amount of force to get it in, and you want to get it in enough that it can bear a decent amount of weight. But you just do that, space them however you see fit, make sure the bikes will fit, anything else will fit, and that's pretty much it. And if you want more storage, you can have a longer board. You need less storage, shorter board. If you have a board that's too long, you might want to use two 2x4s instead of one, just to give it a little more strength, and that you can hold up more without cracking or breaking or anything like that. So that's basically how the hooks work. Next component of the bike rack is the awning frame, which is basically this tarp which will cover the bike rack and protect the bikes from rain or any other weather, falling debris, what have you. So to build it, first you need a board that'll go all the way to where you want the awning to end. So you want the awning to end a little bit further than the bikes. You don't want it right on top, you want it a little further. Something like this, so that if rain's kind of blown by the wind, it'll still get protected. And it'll also protect them from the sun, so they don't get as much sun damage. Basically, you make this big wide board, bolt it into the frame. Here I have these two little supports because it was kind of wobbly. But I added these two little supports to keep it in. Then you add a board to hold up the top of the awning. So bolted that in. There's a bracket holding that in place, and it goes up. Then there's a cross board that goes across to the other end, and that's where you put the top of the awning. And over here, it goes over this board, which is added here for the end of the awning. So that's basically the main steps for creating the awning frame. There's a board here, a board there, and a board across, and the same thing on the other side. and a board here, this board that goes across to keep the awning in place on this side. So that's basically it for the awning frame. So the last thing for making the bike rack is securing the awning. So securing the awning there at the top board, what I did was I took a screw, so get a better kind of angle. I took a screw with a washer, so the screw would hold the washer down because it's directly, the diameter of the head's a little wider than the washer circle opening. So you go here, then you take a grommet, which are these things. You can see the tarp has all these holes. You put it through and screw it in, and that way it'll hold the grommet in place. So that's what I did on the top board. All the way across, I held these in place with these washers and screws. And then here for the bottom part of the awning, as you can see, I just held it on with this. I just got these little clamps from a hardware store. They're only a few dollars. If it lines perfectly up, you could use this here, but a screw and a washer, but I didn't have any that directly lined up here. So that's why I use this. And this will hold it really tight. Maybe over time it might get rusted, but you could replace it later. So there's one here, and there's also one there. And that's pretty much for the awning, holding the awning and securing it. That's pretty much all the steps that there are. And then you do that, and your awning will be tight. You get, for the awning, I recommend getting a heavy-duty tarp like this. You see it's pretty thick. It's not like those ones that are almost see-through. Because the other ones, the sun will make it break apart pretty quick. And this one should last for years. So that's pretty much the last step for building the bike rack. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, email me, and as always, keep looking out for new blog posts at lifehackanddiy.com. Once again, it's lifehackanddiy.com.